A house of strife has turned into a house of horrors. Identical twin sisters have come home from school to find their mother brutally murdered. Cops say Nikki Whitehead was stabbed 80 times with a kitchen knife, her spinal cord nearly severed.
When I walked in the front door, it was the first time I'd ever been on something as horrific as that.
Nikki and her daughters had a history of arguments and trouble. But it was unfathomable to think these two petite 16-year-olds were capable of murder.
These are beautiful young girls, very tiny little things. They look harmless.
Immediately after the horrendous discovery, the twins are consoled by police who are simply looking for answers.
Was she on the floor, on the bed?
She's in the bathtub.
In the bathtub.
Who would want Nikki dead? Cops soon learn the girls have a father.
The father, you know, he had already had a family. He was married. So that was something else that she had to deal with.
But he's got an ironclad alibi. He was living in Canada at the time of the murder. Then the girls themselves tell investigators that Nikki has two boyfriends. Was a love triangle what sparked a murder?
She lived with Robert, and she also had a boyfriend named Joe. The twins had indicated that Robert had overheard her speaking to the other boyfriend on the phone and indicated that Robert had confronted Nikki about the infidelity.
But as cops are tracking leads, and long before detectives had Taz and Jazz in a quiet interrogation room, they noticed something odd on the drive to headquarters.
One of the twins we observed in the back of the ambulance. We saw her bite her arm. We stopped her and asked her, "Hey, what are you doing?" And she explained that she does that when she gets upset.
Inside the room, Taz can be seen on surveillance camera rocking back and forth.
Oh, my grandma. Oh, my mama.
Comforting each other and even sharing a kiss.
You walked in and what
To
happened?
the kitchen and put myself down. And I seen the blood all in there on the floor. And I went in there and I seen her and I touched her.
Detectives try to comfort the sisters. But then, a startling comment takes Detective Ken Swift off guard.
These two girls were, hugging each other and in each other's arms. And when I said, what can I do to make this easier for you? They turned and looked at me and they said, "Can we watch CSI?" And immediately, the hairs on the back of my neck stood straight up. Essentially, it was right then, and it was like, okay, something was very, very off.
And cops noticed something even more suspicious. The girls' complete lack of empathy for their dead mother.
They would cry a lot, but it was tearless crying. When I would ask them to describe their mother, they were very insulting of their mother.
During the interview, detectives observe the twins are still wearing gloves.
Let me see your hands and your arms. What happened here?
I got into a fight.
Did you get in a fight with
Her.
But as they weave their story to cops, back at the bloody crime scene, investigators are uncovering physical evidence. Evidence yielding valuable clues.
The sinks were completely clean and wiped. We found shoes in their back of their closet that had blood on it.
And in Taz's bedroom, what could be the most macabre piece of the murder puzzle.
I noticed there's a pair of brown boots that have a significant amount of blood on them, and they're in a shoebox. I found a clump of hair, which normally a clump of hair is insignificant in a female's house simply because there's hair everywhere. But when that clump of hair has been pulled out of somebody's head and then has been wrapped in a napkin and stuffed into the toe of a shoe, you begin to realize that the twins were not telling us anything that was truthful.
Investigators begin to realize it's no former boyfriend or husband who carried out this murder. The killers are right under their noses.
Right now, we gotta be strong so they can catch the person who did it.
The teenagers seem clueless, or is it an act? Take a look at how Taz looks directly at the surveillance camera. Knowing she's being filmed, giving an award-winning performance.
I'm never gonna be happy now. Because somebody was selfish and took my mom away from me.
But the twins' lives begin to unravel further when detectives retrace their movements on the day of the murder.
What time did y'all leave the house this morning?
We missed the bus, so we had to walk.
You walked all the way to Rockdale?
It's not far.
About what time did you leave?
7:30.
But surveillance video from a nearby gas station shows the twins didn't walk to school that day. They actually hitched a ride from a stranger.
We began catching them in lies concerning their time frames or their details. They began to be very angry and would become argumentative and very uncooperative.
And the high school surveillance video shows the twins in the hallway, hours after they told police they arrived at school.
We were able to determine that they arrived there at mid-morning, where they told us they were only about 10 minutes late for school.
Detectives separate the twisted, inseparable teens, putting them in different interrogation rooms. Being apart seems to wear them down.
You think we did it? I don't think y'all did nothing. Why you say that? It seemed like it. Who said that? Well, it just seemed like how y'all was questioning us and something that seemed like y'all think we did it.
Unfortunately, with only circumstantial evidence prior to testing what's found in the home, cops can't hold the girls, who are released to their great-grandmother. For the next 4 months, Taz and Jazz lead a normal life, going to school, hanging out with friends, even attending prom. Meanwhile, police are watching, waiting, and testing the evidence, quietly building their case.
We found items in their closet that had blood on them. And so when we were trying to distinguish whose blood, you cannot determine between twins because they have the same DNA.
And then, a startling clue, almost as if it came from beyond the grave.
To Nikki's credit, she did not go down without a fight, and she left evidence on one of her girls as a marker.
Remember when cops saw Taz biting her arm, explaining it away as a nervous habit? Detectives say she was trying to cover up Nikki's bite mark on her arm.
We had a dental examination of Nikki's teeth, and they matched it to the bite on the twin.
And autopsy results revealed another grim detail.
They found human hair between Nikki's teeth. We would surmise that twin was behind Nikki and had her from around the front. Nikki's fighting for her life and bit her arm, and that's how the hair became embedded in her teeth.
Cops are quickly zeroing in on what appears to be two pretty little liars. And on the last day of school before summer break, with enough probable cause, detectives arrest Taz at her home. She's cuffed and aggressively frisked. Then, police head to Rockdale High to nab her sister, Jazz.
We decided we were going to arrest them on the last day of school for fear of they were going to take flight out of the country to avoid the charges.
The now evil twins seen here, looking defiant and arrogant in their mugshots, are charged with felony murder and aggravated assault in their mother's death. Now listen as their true natures are revealed on this police car recording.
I'm not going down for something I did not do. Please find a murder weapon and then get real personal. For real. What the you waiting for? They having coffee and donuts and having a good jolly old time.
The case looked to be a slam dunk, but would they ever face trial, or would they need to?
Everything they said, whether it had some truth or fiction in it, had their self-interest at heart.
Coming up, a shocking interview, straight from behind jailhouse doors.
What does she say when she's in the tub?
Kill me now and I'll kill y'all.
But what happened then?
She went under a couple times and that was it.